video. In the last video you met Travis, my 1988 Mini 1000. He's been sat for a while, so he needs brought back to life. He needs all the safety stuff done, he needs all the service stuff done, and he needs all the rubbers checked and all that. So I've got a bit of a journey on my hands, but I'm going to enjoy it. And what I've seen so far doesn't scare me, so yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into him. For this one, I'm not going to be covering it in as much detail as I have my other restoration Elnor, because I want to get them on the road and enjoy them. So I will dip in and dip out, keep you updated as to what I'm doing, because it might help some of you along the way. What I'm going to look at first in here is I'm going to go over things, and I'm going to put a parts list together of things I need to order. Fuel hoses, I think I'll order some new ones so I can get upgraded to E5 compatible. And the ones in the engine bay don't look the greatest either, they look a bit perished. So I'm taking no risks with fuel hoses. There's a bit of dirt in here at the back, and I need to get into the engine to have a look at a few things. So the most obvious thing for me is get the bonnet off. Now, little tip, get a Sharpie and mark where the hinges are, that way it will go back on the exact same way it's come off. Otherwise you'll be fiddling about trying to get the right position for a while. Washers on this that don't need to be on it. Gives me a lot better access, and as you can see at the back there appears to have been a nest in there at some point. And the other side, the wire all just done with black tape over spray paint. There's signs of the old apple green jack paint on there, and the engine bay has been painted black at some point. Let the recommission begin. So what I'm going to do first is get the engine bay cleaned, because there's a lot of stuff, as you've seen, nests, leaves. To get better access, I'm going to take the air filter off. So, gives me a better access into the rear of the bulkhead. And so I can see what I'm doing. It's not going to win any concourse shows, but it's 100 times better. This side's a bit rustier, which is usually the case because you've usually got brake fluid that leaks and causes issues, so I'll need to have a look in here and find out if that's surface rust. There is excess brake fluid here, which I'll need to find out why. Is it just someone not put the lid on properly, or is there a leak? And it looks like it's come from the lid rather than the brake pipe. I said brake, apologies, clutch. Yeah, because I know this has been changed before, so what I think I'll do is I'll take this lid off and I'll just give this a clean. And I think what I'll do as well is just, yeah, if there's anything needing cleaned up, there's a bit of fluid in here as well, just water I think. So yeah, things like that I'm just going to go around and dab and get cleaned. It's the old style metal cylinder. So the history on Travis said that had a new, you can see the flexi hose here and the clutch done about 3,000 miles ago. I don't know when exactly. Let's have a look at the clutch, brake fluid. Yeah, it's not the cleanest to be honest, it will need cleaned and bled through, but I can do that at the same time I do the brakes, it's the same dot 4. So yeah, I've got it cleaned, I'm happy with what it is now. I just need to sort of go over some of the safety things. Now I'll grab the small camera and show you the fuel hose. Dirty, but it doesn't look too perished, but for the price of them I will be replacing it. The only issue here is access, but it's nowhere near as bad as the SPI Mini Mather Mini. So starting at the carb, you've got a small piece of hose here. That then goes onto the brake pipe. If you follow it down, at the bottom there you've got another small piece of hose, probably about 5 centimetres, that goes onto the mechanical fuel pump. The mechanical fuel pump comes out the other end. It goes onto the hard brake pipe. So there's my first job, is replacing the fuel line, to replace the perished hoses and to make them E5 compliant. Fairly cheap fix, fiddly getting in down here, but yeah, it'll be worth it, and fairly inexpensive as well. It's not going to cost much for pipe and clips. While I'm on the fuel system, the fuel gauge wasn't working, so I've cleaned up some of the terminals at the back, put them back on. I'm going to now try them to see if that's made a difference. If not, I'm going to try and diagnose if it's the gauge or if it's the sender or wiring. Okay, now I've put in about 5 litres and the tank capacity is 25 litres, so it should at least come up some. So what's that, a fifth? Just so it should be around about just under the quarter. Not that many fuel gauges were the most reliable anyway, but we're going to watch for the needle moving. It's a slow turnover with the battery. Choke out a bit. Choke out a bit more. So yeah, no movement there at all. So to diagnose what the problem is here, what I've done is I've run a lead from the green and black wire on the wire into the sender unit, and I've run that to the battery earth. When I put the ignition on, if the fuel tank goes to full, that means there's an issue with the sender or the wire in here. If it doesn't, it means it's an issue with the wire in between here and the gauge, or the gauge itself. Okay, let's switch the ignition on. And there you go, you can see the fuel gauge moving there. So it should go all the way to full. Which it does. So the issue is with the sender unit, which is good because the gauge is working, and the wire in between is working, which is the worst to get accessibility to. So, a new sender unit. Before I can start getting involved in any of the systems or repairs, I need to kind of go over and see what parts I need to order, so that I've got the parts there and I'm not having to wait between specific jobs. So, first most obvious thing when the car's been sitting for a while is the battery. Now the previous owner told me he did charge it, but yeah, I don't know how old it is. So looking for about 12.7 for a good battery. It's been run, kept running on and off, so it should have been charging. If it's not, then it could be a new battery. So let's see what we get. So I don't know if that's picking up on the camera there. 12.6. So slightly lower than I would have liked, but not as low as I was kind of half expecting. So I think what I will do with this is get this out and get it on charge, and I'm going to see if it's going to hold the charge, and I'll see if I can find, once I've got it out, if it's got a date on, so I know actually how old the battery is. Got this one charging. I've seen a sticker on the side, so 2nd of October 2020. So yeah, 4.5 years old, but probably not much use, I would imagine, given the mileage on the car. But also reassuring, because that shows me that it's not sat all those years without any attention, and it actually has had a battery for whatever reason in 2020. So yeah, hopefully it's been well maintained and disconnected, and I'll be able to use this in the meantime. Okay, what I've done off camera is I've been round and I've done a check on the electrics, lights, all that sort of stuff, and they all work, which I kind of knew because I knew the gentleman before me fixed some of the wiring and got everything working. So it all works as it should, except for the fuel sender, which we already know I've talked about. So yeah, I've got a good list of parts to order. It's costing me money already. He's costing me money already. I'm actually quite enjoying it, digging in for what I've found, and looking forward to getting into them. So I need to do a parts order for the fuel system, the coolant system, and serviceable items at this stage. That's the ones I'm going to focus on in the coming videos. So hopefully you enjoy coming along for the journey. I will not be going in great depth like I did with my other restorations. I'll still be doing those and bringing videos in the background when I can. I like to kind of split time between them, so I'm not doing similar jobs. So yeah, I'll say thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!